It's a book full of hate and conspiracy theories, and it's his story, much of it invented, a simple story that he knew would appeal to the psychology of millions of desperate people, looking for someone to blame for their misery. And for that question, of who was to blame for Germany's problem, Hitler's book had a very clear answer. It all came back to communism and the Jews. And really, Hitler concludes, the Jews, which he deems an impure race who are using communism as a weapon to undermine and ultimately destroy the German nation.
The unseen enemy is the Jew who organizes the international conspiracy. And then that story is kind of the master narrative.
And according to Hitler, to prevent that from happening again, he says that the nation would have to be purified. This purification would have to be based on blood, a shared race, and the reclaiming of the sacred land that gives it life, blood and soil, people and race. And finally, Hitler's book diagnoses where Hitler, went wrong. It's basically the only accurate part of the book, where he assesses that in trying to take over the country in that Munich beer hall, his big mistake is that he tried to jump from here to here, using violence, but without gaining that mainstream acceptance from business elites and from the democracy that Mussolini had done. Violence alone, he now sees, wouldn't be enough to take power. Not a forced takeover, but in his words, a, quote, determined cooperation between brute force and political aims wisely chosen. So even though Hitler hates democracy, he now understands that he must use the democracy to rise to power so that he can destroy it from within. In other words, Hitler is going to have to succeed in politics.
Fascism never cares about democracy, but is willing to use it in order to destroy it.
He gets out of jail in late 1924. And instead of trying another coup, he spends the next few years rebuilding the Nazi Party as a legal, competitive political machine.